Hey, Xavier James here again with another quick video for you guys. Now, how do I say this? You know what? I'm just going to put it on out there. Here we go. Some time ago, I went to an insane asylum. Yeah, to visit a relative. Now, the reason my relative was in there was for Alzheimer's disease. You'll be surprised how few facilities are willing to take Alzheimer's patients without a truckload of money. And honestly, through my research, I feel that white supremacists gave Native Americans Alzheimer's so that we would forget who we are and what we own to consequently steal our land. You might want to research that. As a matter of fact, research the number of Native American males with Alzheimer's compared to the general population, as well as other Native issues. Look those things up because it will benefit you to do so. Now, during my visit, I was approached by this ailing white man who looked like he had a pillow stuffed underneath his shirt. Now, he wanted to be in the room with me and my family, and because he was lonely, I guess, and no one ever came to visit him. But no matter how many times the nurses would run him away, he'd show back up at our door. Now, he was in the insane asylum for attempted suicides and depression. Long story short, he told me that he had prune belly syndrome. Yeah. And just like you, I'd never heard of it. But when he lifted his shirt, I was horrified at the sight of his stomach. It wasn't a pillow under his shirt, but instead a grossly deformed stomach. He said that aside from the disfigurement, his penis shriveled up and nearly went back inside of him. I was like, God, Jesus, what the hell? My inner voice was just screaming like, oh my God. Now, he was orphaned, as he explained, as a child because his parents didn't want him. But that wasn't the reason he was in that insane asylum that day that I was there. Well, it seems that against the odds, this gentleman was able to have a son. And now his drug-addicted girlfriend was so messed up on crack and meth that the state took the boy. That's what led the man to his suicide attempts. At the time, I wondered what type of woman would be able to maintain a relationship or even have consensual sex with a man with his type of deformity. The answer was, of course, a crack-addicted whore who wanted his disability check. Okay? Now, this child who was to become a ward of the state, this child will likely never know who his father was or that his father had prune belly syndrome. And he could possibly pass this on to his own son. Meanwhile, the first unsuspecting black woman who comes across this guy, this boy, this child who becomes a man, will receive that lethal seed. Are there genetic diseases in your woman's bloodline? Does she have an uncle with prune belly syndrome? Look it up and look at the pictures. Google it right now if you want. Look. If your wife is of European descent, you better check and see, because your children may inherit such a disease. Yeah, it's one of many European diseases that the white supremacists just don't speak on, and they don't want black folks to know about. And just because I'm warning you now, they'll say Xavier James is saying racist stuff. He's a racist. No, it's racist for them to try and stop me from warning you because they feel shame or sudden inferiority. Because those are European, or we might say white diseases. Those are not black genetic disorders. They're not. Real talk, before you marry any person of European descent, if you're a man or a woman, find out his or her genetic background first. It's not about racism, it's about genetics. You want to have the healthiest children possible. It's just like two black folks with sickle cell. They ain't supposed to get together because that child is more likely to have sickle cell anemia, suffering and all that. You may love the person, but you just can't do that. Who want to do that to their child? I've seen a surge in interracial marriages lately, and I predicted that a climb would occur in such things over the years. But, some of you dummies